shaken. Okay. Do I remember how to do this? Hi. Welcome back. I hope I am welcoming someone back. Please let there be somebody watching this. Is there anybody out there? That was my impression of the sailor guy on the Titanic, you know, before they find Kate Winslet on the door. There's like dead people everywhere. Maybe not the most appropriate intro. Okay. Right. So my name is Caitlin, and welcome to my little corner of the internet where I talk about fiber arts, mostly cross stitch. But you never know. You never know because it always starts with cross stitch, and then the next thing you know, it's like 5 years later and you're spinning your own wool from your own alpacas on your fiber arts alpaca farm. I'm not quite there yet, but a girl can dream. A girl can dream. Today we just have cross stitch to talk about, only cross stitch. So, and I am not going to talk about everything I've done in the last, 2-3 years. I'm just going to talk about this week because otherwise we'd be here all day and I only have a little bit of time. So the first thing I worked on this last week was, this is called Blair, the Witchy Kitty. Isn't that cute? This is by Stitch and Kitten Designs. Super adorable. If you buy this chart, a hard copy chart, because she also sells PDFs from like an LNS that maybe has had it for a little while, you will probably find that the color key is incorrect. Mine was. It's very obviously incorrect. You won't start stitching and then make a mistake and have to rip stuff out. You'll be able to tell immediately that it's incorrect. But you can very easily download the correct color key from the Stitch and Kitten website. It's super easy. And she's very, very nice and responds very, very quickly if you can't figure it out. Because I couldn't. But she was super nice and kind and responded in like 5 minutes. So just keep that in mind if you have this chart, perhaps an older version of this chart in hard copy. I'm sure the PDF download from her website is accurate. So I have been working on this. I've only worked on it for a couple days. And this is what I have done. So I don't normally stitch a lot of Halloween, but I decided this year to stitch some Halloween cross stitch and then make them into trick-or-treat bags for my kids. Because why spend $5 on something I could make with $50 worth of craft supplies and half of my sanity? Why not take the opportunity to stress myself out? Why not? So my older daughter picked this chart for me to do, and it's super cute. I'm more than halfway done. So now I will probably put it away for anywhere from like 3 to 3,000 weeks because I've reached the halfway point. So I hate it. I got that chart, by the way, at Born to Stitch in Secaucus, New Jersey. I'll talk about it a little bit more later when we get to stash, but it's a newish cross stitch shop that opened in Secaucus, which is like a very, very short, easy bus ride from Port Authority if you are a New Yorker. And it's great. Amy's great. It's fantastic. She's got a little area to stitch. She puts Floss-tube on the TV all day. The bus like drops you off right there. You take the bus right back. It's a great little shop. I had a blast when we went. I went with Debbie, Stitch the Stash, and Jenna like a couple weeks ago. Jenna X Stitches, and it was great. 10 out of 10. Recommend. Okay, so the other thing I worked on this week is an oldie but a goodie. I bought this in like 2017 and started it somewhere in 2018, I think, for Mania. This is, do they still do Mania? Is that still a thing? I think the Facebook group closed down, right? That was like the old world floss tube. times. So this is Prairie Schooler, Prairie Birds. Whoop. Super cute. It's got like 10 little, whoop, here I am, bird charts. Wow, I'm super out of practice. So when I picked this up this year, I had only these 2 done. And since then I finished 1, 2, 3, 4 and started on a 5th. So I've officially reached about 60-ish%. I've passed the halfway mark. So I hate it now and have to force myself to work on it because it's like some sort of halfway mark problem I have. But in general, you know, I love a Prairie Schooler, like blocks of color, super cute. The colors are beautiful, usually muted. I have no idea how I'm gonna finish these. No idea, but clearly my intention when I started was to finish them separately because of the spacing I did between these 2. So they're gonna be finished separately. How? I don't know. Maybe I'll go back and watch an old video and try and figure out what I was thinking, if that's at all possible. So that's the other thing I mostly, the only other thing I worked on this week, not mostly. So that is it for whips. My plan this week is to work on my oldest whip. You've all seen this before. Oh, okay, here it is. So this wasn't, so it goes this way. This was an Etsy purchase 9 years ago. This just turned 9. The chart is no longer available. It's this beautiful wreath, and inside the chart it says good vibes only. I'm not going to put that. I started this in 2016 with the intention of it being like a wedding sampler, and then I was going to frame it and have my guests sign the mat as like a guest book. I had big dreams. I was new to cross stitching and didn't realize how long it would take, and I also didn't realize that this was it was like a pattern farm chart, you know, so it hadn't been edited. The pages don't line up. It's not an easy chart to work with, and I was way out of my depth on it as a new cross stitcher. So I didn't get very far, put it away, restarted it on linen a couple years later, and have been kind of plugging along since then. But this is, you guessed it, halfway finished. Ish. I still don't know what I'm going to do with the center. Again, I had plans back then, but I don't remember them anymore. This is being stitched on 32, again, 32 count linen. This is Silvery Moon Zweigart, and I'm doing it 1/2, which I kind of like the look of. It gives it kind of like a little bit of a watercolory effect. When it's done, it's going to be beautiful. I know every time I pull this out, people are like, you know, if you don't love it anymore, you can just get rid of it. You don't have to force yourself to finish it. And I know, but I am stubborn. And I just can't let it go. I cannot let this beat me. I have to win. So, I'm going to win. I'm going to finish it. I'm trying to finish it before it turns 10. So I want to finish it this year. And I think I did like a pretty good chunk when I pulled it out this year. I think I only had to like here. So I've done a pretty solid quarter of it almost. So it's definitely possible. I just, again, halfway done, hate it. I've actually hated it since the beginning. So this is not a halfway done problem. This is just like a frustrating project problem. My plan for this week is to put 1,400 stitches into that project to kind of keep on schedule to finish it by the end of the year. And if I have time, once I get 1,400 stitches into that, I'm gonna have a new start. While we are born to stitch, I also got, this is the Blue Flower Spooky Autumn Smalls. And I bought it because of this guy. I should take it out of the plastic. I bought it because of this guy, raccoon and a pumpkin. Adorable. And I think that I'm going to do the, well, I don't think, I know because I've already kitted it up. I'm going to do the spider biscornu for the smalls exchange for Stitch North. I'm so excited. I usually do a biscornu for an exchange just because I feel more confident finishing a biscornu than I do sewing a pillow. So if I get caught up on my oldest whip, I will start that this week. I got to start it soon because retreat is coming up in a couple months, right? We're basically in April. Okay, so that's whips, that's plans. I have some stash to show you. So if you don't like stash, bye. But I have some fun purchases to share. So I also had I got this chart of Born to Stitch when I was there with Jenna and Debbie. And I also got plastic. It's like amateur hour over here. I'm sorry. Also, my neighbors are bowling, moving furniture, keeping an elephant. I don't know. I hope you can't pick that up. So the other thing I got while we were at Born to Stitch was this chart, Autumn Lane Stitchery Pumpkin Stack. Super cute. This is what my younger daughter picked out for her trick-or-treat bag. And I've already sort of kitted it up with the floss, and I'm probably going to use one of these blue fabrics. I don't know when I'll start that. Sometime soon, probably. For Christmas, my mother-in-law gifted me some fabric from Grace Notes, but she didn't realize when she ordered it that it was like a dye order. They dye to order. Yes, that's the right word. They dye to order. So she didn't realize that. So it took a couple months for it to come in. It's totally worth the wait. So I got some 28 count Allen Joblin. Ooh, beautiful. And she also got me some Verdal 40 count in Nancy. These are super pretty. I'm very excited to do something with them. Maybe a mermaid? I kind of want to do some mermaids. I guess you can't really do a mermaid on 40 count though, right? Because of the beads. Whatever. And then this isn't really stash yet because I borrowed it from the library, but I'm going to buy myself a copy because this is great. This is Leslie Wilkins' Quaker Sampler. And it is, if you want to see a flip through or something, let me know, but it is, it's got a bunch of charts, individual motifs in there. It is a very thick, thorough, well-made book. Definitely useful if you want or need to add your own Quaker, oops, there's a chart there, Quaker elements to things. So I will be ordering a copy of this for myself when my loan at the library is up. Last but not least, my Nashville order came in. So there's lots of great things to choose from this year. I normally don't pre-order, but this year I pre-ordered because I specifically wanted I can't show it to you, because it's just a chart. It's, there's no cover photo, but I specifically wanted, the Blue Flower Designs, Night Garden chart, which you got as a freebie if you ordered a blue flower chart from Abby. So that's why I pre-ordered. I normally don't, but I was obsessed with that chart. If I can, I'll put a picture in here if I remember. It's just these beautiful irises. I love irises. It was kind of like the only chart of the Night Garden series that spoke to me, and it was great that it was free. And so I had to order one of her charts though to get it for free. But I would have bought this anyway. So I got the Blue Flower plastic, Caitlin, plastic. The Blue Flower Pigeon and Puddle, because like, come on, how cute is that? we have like no wildlife here in New York, but we have a lot of pigeons, and he's perfect. I can't wait to do that guy. Let's see. Okay. I also got Shaded Stitchery Grounded in Chaos. I don't like stitching text. I don't. But I just thought this was so beautiful, and it'll probably be very therapeutic to work on. Maybe I can send the receipt for this to my health insurance company. Maybe they'll cover it as a therapy cost. So yeah, I'm probably gonna switch the colors up, but that seems easy enough. So that's pretty. Adorable from Lindy Stitches. What good can I do this way? What good can I do this day? Words are hard. This is super cute. The colors, loved it. I don't remember ordering this. I don't think I meant to, but I guess I did. This is Cotton Pixels Silent Night, and it looks, you stitch a long flat piece and then you FFO it into an ornament. Yeah, I do not remember purchasing this, but I guess I did, and it's beautiful. So, and it seems practical. I'm excited for it. And then finally, Robin Pickings Facing the Sun. So pretty. Are these cactuses? Are these flowers? Are these balloons? I don't know. They're gorgeous. I love them. And the last Robin Pickens piece I did stitched up so quickly, so beautifully, that I know this will be a joy to work on. I think that's it for, no, it's not. I have two more purchases to show you. Okay, so the first thing is, this is Target stash. I know, right? Target cross-stitching stash. So the first thing I got was this, this was $10. It is a embroidery craft kit. I'm not gonna use, it came with some little basic patterns and some cheapy kind of floss, which I probably won't use. But how perfect is this gonna be to stitch on? I'm very excited. I plan to paint it and then stitch up. So I have this old edition of Cross Stitch Crazy from February. I don't even know. I don't, does this magazine still exist? I know a bunch of them went kaput. I don't know, but I've had this for a while because I can't throw things away because I'm crazy. But these are beautiful. It's like these little tiny Art Deco motifs. And I'm gonna use a couple of them on this box. I'll probably paint it blue and then I'll use it as a jewelry box. And I am super excited to do that someday. The other thing I got from Target, cool, right? I saw this and I was like, you can totally stitch on that. And I did. Just a very simple 2-color rose. I started with doing something more complicated, but it wasn't working out well because the stitch area is very small. And so any amount of, you can't really get a lot of detail in, it just looks muddy. So I just really embraced the coastal grandma look and did that. And this is gonna be my new like project carrying bag for retreats and stuff. I love it. I stitched it with, so I used Dinky Dye's Jumbuck thread, which is 50% silk, 50% wool. I won a bunch of skeins of this in different colorways at the New Jersey retreat last summer. And I didn't really know what I was gonna do with them, but I was excited I won them in the raffle. And then when I saw this, I thought, that will be perfect. I did have to use 3 strands to get this level of coverage even, so yarn might be a better option if you buy a bag like this with the intent of stitching on it, but I don't know. I think it turned out really cute. So that is the stash. That's what I stitched. So if you're not interested in books, sayonara, thanks for coming. I have a couple books to talk to you about before we go. So the audiobook I listened to this week was Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. So this novel is speculative fiction about like a kind of doomsday scenario where there's a pandemic. It's called the Georgia flu, spreads super rapidly across the world, and it kills like 90% of the population, and doomsday chaos. Humans barely survive. Interestingly, it was written in 2014, so before COVID, but it's kind of surreal reading the book post-COVID and being like, oh boy, you know? So I guess like trigger warning there if you suffered some losses or some trauma during COVID, maybe not a good book for you, because this pandemic is the central theme of the novel. But this book is great. I wish I'd read it sooner in life. I'm probably going to read it again. You have to be a little bit patient when you're reading Mandel's work. She tends to tell a story by jumping around between character perspectives, and she jumps around the timeline of the story a lot. So she's not telling it in order, and she's kind of just giving you puzzle pieces as you go along for you to kind of put together to figure out how all these characters fit into the timeline. So like, because it seems like at first they have nothing to do with each other, but as you put the puzzle together, things become kind of clear. She's a fantastic writer. This is a fantastic book. I definitely recommend it. The paperback I'm reading this week, it's super beat up, so clearly it's been well loved at the library. Trial of the Sun Queen. This was pitched to me as like pitched to me on TikTok, like not by a person, but it was pitched as A Court of Thorn and Roses meets Fourth Wing, or Hunger Games. The Bachelorette meets Hunger Games. Like, that's what it was pitched to me as. I guess it would be The Bachelor. And yes, that is, I would say that's an accurate description. It's not a bad book, but like I'm 2/3 of the way through and I don't feel hooked yet. Like I'm enjoying reading it, but I don't feel like I can't put it down. I don't feel invested. And I think that in the other books I mentioned in the Fourth Wing series and in A Court of Thorn and Roses and those series, you got hooked a lot sooner. The kind of writing level is the same. I wouldn't call it literature, but it's fun. And so are those other books, right? So it's fun. Fun romantasy, but so far I'm not hooked. I kind of wonder if that's not going to come until the very end as a way of getting you to read the second book. I think there's 4 books in this series. So unless it gets a lot better in the last third of the book, I don't think I'll read the next one. Okay, that's all I've got. Oh, no, I have one more thing written down here. Where are you guys buying and selling used charts these days? Like, I used to buy and sell charts on eBay, but do people still use eBay? Are you still using the Facebook groups? I'm scared of Facebook now. I try not to go there. I know some people sell on Instagram, but I haven't seen that in a while. Should I open an Etsy store? I have a stack of charts that I've been thinking about selling for a while, but I don't know where to list them. Please tell me where you buy secondhand charts. If you buy secondhand charts. And if you're gonna comment something like, it's illegal, it's immoral to sell secondhand charts, like, save your energy. I don't want to be your friend. Go like do what is it Gen Z says, go touch grass or whatever. I'm sorry, I like can't with the internet anymore. Some days, all days, like all the information at our fingertips, and yet you do not need me to finish that sentence, right? Whew. Well, that's all I've got. And I hope to be back soon and see you again soon. And until then, happy crafting.